Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Adrielle and I'm currently narrating a story of my life dating back from January 2016. In my previous video, I talked about the 7 differences between a God-destined spouse, also known as match made in heaven spouse, and the counterfeit. But in this video, I want to talk about why God allows a prodigal spouse to get with the counterfeit, okay? So here it goes. So you may be in a situation where God has revealed your spouse to you and then they reject you and get with the counterfeit. Or some of you, you're actually married already. You're married and out of nowhere, your spouse leaves the home, leaves you. You may even have kids with your spouse. They leave you and they get with the counterfeit and they're living with the counterfeit and they paint this picture on social media that they're happy. And you're thinking to yourself, why would God allow this to happen? Especially for the fact that God is telling you to pray for that person. God is telling you to pray for your prodigal spouse and you're praying, but all you see is them hugged up, booed up on social media with the counterfeit. You're thinking, why would God allow for that to happen? You honestly think that God approves of the prodigal and counterfeit relationship. Well, he doesn't. And I'm going to tell you the 3 reasons why God allows the prodigal spouse, guy or girl, to get with the counterfeit guy or girl. So the first reason why God allows a prodigal to get with the counterfeit is because the counterfeit represents the prodigal's issues. So here's the thing with the prodigal. A prodigal doesn't just wake up and become a prodigal. A lot of times they have stored up trauma, stored up issues that they never addressed. So when you got with them, everything seemed good. Now all of a sudden they're having issues with you and they leave you and you think the issues just happened right away. No, those issues were already there before y'all met. So what happens is that God allows the prodigal to get with the counterfeit because the counterfeit represents their issues and God has given the prodigal opportunity to address their issues because they never did. Okay, so for example, if a man is a prodigal husband and he leaves you, the match made in heaven spouse, the God-destined spouse, he leaves you to be with a stripper. That already lets you know that that man has a lust problem that he never dealt with. So you see how that works? So when the prodigal gets with the counterfeit, you notice that the counterfeit is opposite from you. The counterfeit is not a woman that's like you, God-fearing woman of God. It's a woman who's totally different. But what you need to understand is that the prodigal is running to a woman. Let's say it's a prodigal man. He's running to a woman who is just like him. That woman is immature, just like him. That woman is lost, just like him. That woman is, like I said, if it's a situation where a prodigal man leaves his wife to be with a stripper, that woman has lust, just like he has lust. So whatever's going on internally with that man, the counterfeit has the same things going on internally with her. So the counterfeit is symbolic for the prodigal's issues. Now, this is how God lets the prodigal to address his issues in the counterfeit relationship. So when the prodigal gets with the counterfeit, he's comfortable because she's on the same type of time that he's on, right? He's comfortable. But what ends up happening is that the thing with the prodigal and the counterfeit is that they're both in darkness, okay? They're both in darkness. And here's the thing about darkness, the kingdom of darkness. I heard someone on YouTube say that there's no loyalty in the kingdom of darkness, which is true. So people who operate in darkness, people who operate in the world, anything goes. They both lie to one another. They both cheat on one another. They both sabotage one another. They both gossip about one another, right? That's how the world operates. That's how the kingdom of darkness operates. This is how God is going to get your prodigal's attention. When the prodigal gets with the counterfeit is going to cheat on him. Counterfeit is going to cheat on him. The counterfeit is going to disrespect him. The counterfeit is going to probably steal his money. She's not going to care about him. When the counterfeit is doing all these things, it's going to make your prodigal feel some type of way. Because just because anything goes in the kingdom of darkness, that people are lying to one another, nobody likes to be lied on. People are gossiping about one another. Nobody wants to be gossiped about. Nobody wants to be cheated on. So what's going to happen is that your prodigal is going to be in this counterfeit relationship. The counterfeit is going to dish all this evil to your prodigal, and your prodigal is not going to like it. He's not going to take it. So that's when the prodigal eventually is going to realize, like, wait, I'm going through all this stuff with this person, but I only got with them because we both were getting drunk. We both were, having this, doing that. That's when the prodigal is going to realize, I chose this person out of sin. I chose this person out of my dysfunction. I chose this person because I was lusting for them. That was the only reason why I wanted to be with them. So that's when they're going to be aware of, okay, these are the issues that they're dealing with. They need to address it. So that's the first reason why God would allow a prodigal to be with the counterfeit. The counterfeit represents the prodigal's issues, and so God wants the prodigal to address their issues, okay? So the second reason why God allows the prodigal to get with the counterfeit is so that the prodigal can discern/learn what they need in a partner. So they will look for that in their spouse. Because you got to understand, a lot of times prodigals, they're lost. So because they're lost, they don't know what to look for in a spouse. They don't know what to look for in a romantic relationship. They go off of aesthetics. They go off of the outward appearance. So if a man chooses a woman out of lust, he gets with her with the lust, right? But as he's with her, he's like, man, I don't like the fact that she's cheating on me. I don't like the fact that she doesn't ask me about my day. I don't like the fact that she doesn't care about my goals. That's when he's going to realize, you know what? When I get into a relationship, I want to be with a person who cares about me. I want to be with a person who actually communicates with me. I want to be with a person who actually loves me. I want to be with a person who's actually peaceful, because this counterfeit is always trying to fight me. That's when they're going to realize. So God is allowing the prodigal to get with the counterfeit because they don't know what to look for in a spouse. So by the time they get with you, the match made in heaven spouse, you're everything that they want. You're peaceful, you're loving, you communicate with them, you care about them. Not only are you everything that they want, but they are going to appreciate you because they know what it's like to be with someone that didn't care about them. They know what it was like to be with someone who cheated on them. They know what that stuff is about. So when they get with you and you're faithful, loving, cheerful, peaceful, patient, you're not trying to fight him all the time, he is going to appreciate you. So this is the second reason why God allows the prodigal to get with the counterfeit. And the third reason why, which is actually the best reason, is that God allows the prodigal to get with the counterfeit in order for that relationship to draw the prodigal to God. Because let me tell you something, it's going to get to a point where the prodigal is going to get tired of being friends with the devil. Ever since he got with the counterfeit, he's just been in sin. His life has just been backwards. He's been depressed. He has insomnia. He's going to be like, yo, I want love. I want joy. I want peace. I crave peace. Y'all, love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, all of that. That's the fruit of the Holy Spirit. That comes from God. So at this point, he's developing an appetite to crave the things of God, which will ultimately lead him to God. Okay, so this is the reason why God allows the prodigal to get with the counterfeit. Okay, so those are the three reasons why. I do want to add this too. If you are someone who has a prodigal spouse and God has told you to pray for that person, please be obedient to what God is telling you. I know there are going to be people who are going to tell you that you should forget about it and just move on with your life. Please pay attention to what God is telling you. Be obedient. And when your prodigal spouse does go back to you, they are going to be surrendered as far as committed to you, committed to God. you want to make sure you don't harbor any ill will towards them. Okay, you want to have that posture of the father from the parable of the prodigal son. When the father saw his son from a distance, he went over and embraced him. When your prodigal spouse comes back to you, you want to embrace them. You don't want to remind them of all the stuff that they did to you. You don't want to remind them of them rejecting you and them treating you any old way and them using the counterfeit to make you jealous. You don't want to remind them of that, because here's the thing. A lot of these prodigals, they're living in shame. They are ashamed of their life and they are ashamed of what they did to you. So for them to get back to you, for them to reach out to you, it's going to take a lot for them to do that. It's going to take a lot of courage. And you don't want a situation where they muster up all this courage to talk to you, to meet up with you, and you're just throwing it in their face. Like, oh my goodness, you're the reason why my life was like this. You caused all this pain. Because if you do that, they're just going to go back into the world, go back to that counterfeit lifestyle. You don't want that. You don't want to undo what God has already done. Okay, so if you're someone who God has told you to intercede for your prodigal spouse, please go to God for healing. Go to God, concerning you forgiving your spouse. And you also got to remember that the only reason why you're standing for a prodigal spouse is because God told you to. If it was up to you, you wouldn't stand for your spouse. You wouldn't. So whatever healing, whatever forgiveness, whatever you got to do, go to God to it. Okay. Go to God with all of that. Okay. So that is my video of the 3 reasons why God allows the prodigal to get with the counterfeit. And also I want to let you know that the counterfeit relationship is not what you think it is. Do not pay attention to social media. Listen, the counterfeit relationship is also a delusional relationship. The counterfeit is delusional and the prodigal too is delusional. They're both delusional. They're both in darkness. They're both lost. They both don't know what they're doing. They're making this picture that's ugly look pretty. Okay? So do not look at the counterfeit relationship on social media and think it's this amazing relationship. It's not. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Okay? So with that, that's the end of my video. And the next video, I don't know, I probably will go back to narrating an unlikely story. Okay? So if you like my video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please also share my videos as well. And until next time, bye.